There is a big connection.
Oh God, here comes the big fat truck.
What are you doing to us? The joys of shooting on location, the sound effects. Kundalini Yoga has helped you benefited you. Okay?
Ching.
You broke your teeth and smashed your face. What is going on? This is like... What happened? Did you get into a pub fight?
I smashed.
We've just got the giggles now. The Kundalini giggles. So today I am going to be talking about a different type of yoga that I've never tried. I'm with Nancy, who is a Kundalini teacher. So Nancy, welcome to the show. I've done yoga for 23 years, Hatha, Ashtanga and Yin Yoga. I've heard of Kundalini, but I've heard a lot of odd things around it too. So first of all, break it down to me. What is the difference between Kundalini Yoga and some of the basic ones, Ashtanga and Hatha?
First of all, thank you for having me today. What I would say is that the first thing that you'll find when you go into a Kundalini Yoga space is that the practice is very dynamic. It takes the asana, the postures, from the various practices, including the Ashtanga and the Hatha practice, and it turns them into a much more sort of dynamic flow. It converts them into a dynamic flow. We use the conscious eye focus in the practice of Kundalini Yoga, so a lot of the movements are done with the eyes closed, very different from a typical Hatha class where you're busy looking at the teacher or the teacher is coming to correct you. The teacher does not disrupt your electromagnetic field when you're in a process, so you'll never have a teacher, Kundalini Yoga teacher, touching you or disrupting your electromagnetic field. Chanting mantra, the chanting of mantras is a big aspect of it, is a major aspect of it. Meditation is a central component, and the breath.
You talk about breathwork in Kundalini Yoga and how that actually helped you. In fact, you said it probably saved your father's life when he was going through COVID. Tell me a little bit about that.
We were working the breath with him every 2 to 3 hours for 3 weeks. One of the key things with COVID is that the oxygen saturation levels can drop very, very quickly and without us noticing. And most sort of public health let's say protocols are to tell people to come to the hospital only when they're short of breath. But by the time you're short of breath, your oxygen saturation levels might have dropped. So what we observed with my dad was that they were dropping, but that with the breath work and doing it consistently, we were able to raise it back up again. But in order to keep it elevated, we had to do it quite literally every 2 to 3 hours. So everything from the long deep breath, but the long deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. We also worked on the sound vibration, even very simple humming. So when you inhale and then you just simply hum, you're raising nitric oxide levels, and you can read about the vascular impact that just raising the nitric oxide levels has. So even very simple movements like to work through any sort of blockages in the respiratory tract, because COVID again immediately attacks the respiratory system.
And did he recovered?
COVID takes a long time to recover from, but I can say, touch wood, that we managed to keep him out of the hospital, that he never needed to go on artificial oxygen, and he turned a corner probably about 3 weeks into the process.
So when I met you, you were wearing like a kurta pajama, which is what we wear in India, and you went, this is what I'm going to be doing my yoga in. And I said to Nancy, what about the tight lycra and the leggings and all these yoga pants? Tell me about the clothes and your opinion when it comes to Kundalini and wearing these kind of pants. Because for me, I feel like a lot of people aren't practicing pure yoga. They're just in it for the fashion and the fad.
We wear cotton when we practice to allow the skin to breathe and to help to support that very deep glandular experience that can happen when we practice Kundalini Yoga. We also choose to wear light colors because when we wear light colors, we're we're expanding that 8th chakra. We are reflecting back. With the turban, it's about containing the temples at the crown, and the sages have been doing this for many years to enhance that meditative experience. And we also know that when we raise the Kundalini energy, we look to contain it. We don't necessarily want it to fly out.
Now, I am Sikh Punjabi, and I found out just before this interview that you said there's a great connection between Sikhism and Kundalini Yoga. I never heard anyone talk about Kundalini Yoga growing up in my family, so what's the connection?
Yeah, so a lot of the mantras that we chant emerge from sacred text that is rooted in Sikh tradition. There are certain elements of the practice, including how we wear a turban, that we've learned from the Sikh traditions. But that being said, Kundalini Yoga takes from so many different traditions, including Hinduism, including Buddhism, including Christianity, Sufism, and so on and so forth. It is a very interesting exploration for anybody who's looking to sort of deepen their connection to the One.
Har